Bum, 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum, 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 bum. All right, I need you guys to please pray as hard as you can for me by disliking this video. Unfortunately, Thanksgiving is not a very lucky time in my life, and it really shows. I got into some road rage today. What had happened was I was in a rather unfamiliar part of town, and I was really upset that one of the lights for a left turn, it's so short. When the light turns green, only two, three cars would pass, and then it would turn red again. And I was so upset that my mind wandered away. And I was thinking about two of my former classmates who have since passed away, if you can believe it. And I was sad for them because they studied chemistry. And we're coming up to Mary Curry's birthday. She turns 158 years old this year. And I was saddened that my former classmates weren't around to celebrate it. And I was thinking about them. One of my classmates had shown me how to extract gold from electronic waste. And we had been doing this at his apartment. Now, he and I both feuded over the same girl, but for some reason, when we were doing chemistry, we were able to put that aside, right? It kind of reminds me how, as much as the US and Russia might feud over religion, as soon as we want to go to space together, we put that aside. It kind of reminded me of that, right? And so he was showing me how to extract gold from electronic waste that he had picked up from the university that we were both attending. And well, I asked him where did he buy the hydrochloric acid. He was using hydrochloric acid. He says, "Oh, it's not a big deal. You could just buy it at Home Depot." Now, the girl we were feuding over was now working part time at the Home Depot. And when he said Home Depot, it gave me a bad feeling. I went, and so he says, "Oh yeah, go to Lowe's. Don't go to Home Depot." And gave me a nice, warm, fuzzy feeling that he thought about that. And so long story short, neither of us really won the war with the girl, but instead we found each other, right? Unfortunately, both of them have since passed away, and they both passed away around the time of Thanksgiving. So I was thinking about them, and I heard horns honking, and I look up, and just as I heard the horn, the light turned yellow, so I couldn't go. I was so upset because it takes 3 minutes for the light to change, and you get like a few seconds. And usually for long lights like that, I turn off the car engine. So by the time I even react to turn on the car engine, it's too late, right? So I turned the car back off again, and then my mind started to wander at Mary Curry. I was thinking about her final days, and I've read her biography. Her daughter wrote a biography about her, and so I was thinking it wasn't covered in her biography, but I know that Mary Curry lived just long enough to see her discovery being made artificially now, right? So she discovered polonium 210 from pitchblende rock, but it's very rare, right? You need tons and tons of pitchblende rock just to extract enough polonium to set off a Geiger counter, not even enough to make any good application out of it or to even see the properties of polonium, right? So back in 1898, we didn't know the density of polonium. We didn't know what color it was. We didn't even know if it was a metal or a non-metal. We might not have even known if it was solid or liquid at room temperature, right? After all, after you go down the rows of the periodic table, elements do tend to get more and more liquid, right? The element just below gold on the periodic table might even be a liquid at room temperature, right? So we didn't even know any of that. But a few months before Mary Curry passed away, it was discovered that bismuth could be turned into polonium, and now we had a visible amount. And so she lived just long enough to see that. And I was thinking about her final experiments, and I was wondering, was it her experiments that did her in, or sometimes they're statistically humans are slightly more likely to die after an important milestone, right? Right after a big birthday or a holiday, because most people can uh, will their way to living past an important holiday, right? So I was thinking about Mary Curry just willing herself to live long enough to see a visible amount of polonium 2. I was thinking about that. Next thing I know, the guy behind me is honking again, and I look up and the light's yellow. And it made me curse that I wish I had more freedom to daydream more, right? Not be committed to so many things. And so it makes me want to really hit it out of the park with my Lego ideas. Although I had a frustration with Lego ideas. Lego ideas is so wildly inconsistent on what they will accept. Right. So I was building a New York City Hall, and now they say they won't accept it. I'm gonna have to email them and see what's going on because they they did accept other government monuments, right? Let's see, Lego ideas. I know they've done the U.S. Capitol. Yeah. Let's see if they've done other city halls. Pretty sure they have. Oh, they did a generic city hall. That's probably why. I probably just have to change it up a little bit and not make it New York City Hall anymore, but some generic one, right? That might work better. I'm gonna have to check with them to see if they'll accept state capitals because I do want to build quite a few different state capitals. In fact, I might make a set with the pieces that can build all sorts of state capitals, right? Anyway, I got into some road rage today, in large part because there's just not enough time to do all the nothings in our life. Notice I didn't say not enough time to do everything. I said not enough time to just do nothing, right? And I wish I had more of that, right? Okay. Uh, Unfortunately, I don't know. How would you guys feel if the car in front of you missed two lights in a row? Okay, leave a comment. The other day, I got into other road rage. The other day, I was cleaning my car. Actually, I was getting ready to go on a date, and I had two jobs to go to earlier that day, and I was moving stuff in the car, wiping down surfaces. And when the guy honked behind me, I waved the can of wipes that I was using to tell him I'm cleaning my car, and he got even more upset at that. He swerved around me and threw some Gatorade at my windshield, if you can believe that. Uh, bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.